Responseware is a device that's been used in a classroom where the facilitator can ask the responses of the candidates in a class. It can be used as an assessment tool or as a tool to get the views of the candidates in the class. The assessment tool is a device used to assess our technicians. The results are immediately available, so we do not need to mark or moderate the answers.
With this current assessment, it's good because we are able to find out the true representation of where we are, our level of understanding, and it's faster and a more convenient way of marking up our progress on where we are.
At present, we have 246 artisans in underground hard rock mining.
Between shop service contracts and field service tech, we have 120 technicians.
Central Africa has got 118 underground technicians, 95 from Zambia and 23 from Tanzania.
With my 15 years with Sandvik, I've never gone through any sort of assessment for my technical ability, whether it be computer-based or paper-based or anything.
Before the cricket was introduced, we were assessing our technicians as and when they come for training.
Another 5-6 years there was no any assessment done, and some technician was facing some assessment during recruiting or during accepting another position.
My last competency evaluation, I don't recall having one in the 15 years I worked here, but we did develop a competency-based evaluation for Sandvik new hires.
We were fortunate enough to have some of the first generation assessment tools. So we utilized that and we created assessments to help the guys.
This knowledge assessment tool, I think, is a really good way to get going, to get our techs up to snuff and to increase their skill level. We're going to know exactly where our weaknesses are. Using this, we know exactly where to pinpoint the training for each tech, and it'll make our group better as a whole and to help the customer with decreased downtime and increased production.
A cricket tool is available for all environments.
Clicker tool is a great tool, and I believe it's have a lot of potential. In fact, I see a lot of benefits of using this tool for feedback and during class training.
Multiple technicians can be assessed at once. There's no paperwork, and recording of reporting is much easier than in the past.
When they tried it out, they found that the tool was actually user-friendly and it was easy and it was saving their time to do the assessment.
The last assessment, I think it's a really great tool. I like how everybody gets to sit in and we're all getting asked the same questions. And I really think it's a good way to figure out where technicians are with their skill level. And I hope to see more of these types of assessments done in the future.
I haven't had an assessment in several years, so I found that the competency material was interesting. I mean, it was on the LHD equipment. I'm a drill specialist, so I found it challenging to answer the questions. However, I have worked on LHD in my experience with Sandvik, so I found it interesting to review boulder-based information or competency-based information on different areas of the company. Keeps you fresh and interesting. And in the future, it's nice to see more competency-based training, equipment-specific or maybe work area-specific. Would be beneficial to keeping employees interactive and up to date with some of the latest materials.
Well, for the first time, it was actually quite challenging because it was a new thing, but it wasn't too much because it's very similar to the phones that we use, and we're now okay with it. Yeah.
We prefer to use the self-paced version, as the technicians can carry on their own time.
We have used the only PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint polling.
All of us, I can speak for all of us, we prefer the use of the self-paced one, because we answer the questions at different paces, and it also gives you the luxury to answer different questions at different times. So the results are more credible when it happens like that.
Assessment content is very good because it is covering the main concepts of the modules or the machine systems.
So the assessment, I thought it was really good, except if it's going to be product specific, we need to make sure that the questions are for that specific product. We can't do a vast general question for multiple product groups. I think any questions that have to pertain with specific information such as pressures, settings, we should have a print or something, some sort of information along with the question so that we can find it, because not everybody's going to be able to memorize every question. Other than that, it was good.
The content is quite comprehensive, although I must admit there's a bit of fine-tuning that we still need to do to perfect the system.
I'd probably suggest just ensuring that the material-based information on the equipment is relevant. There has been many questions in the assessments that were maybe brought different point of views, and there was multiple right answers. So maybe if the assessment was a little bit more clear and the questions really focused on having one correct answer, would be an easier way to assess someone's competency level.
I think we need just to standardize the number of questions, because some of the modules they have 7 questions, others have got 10, others have got 15.
Currently, since it's a new thing, I mean, we were actually very, very impressed.
I believe we can work together with collecting feedback and information from factory to improve quality of the assessment and have standard assessment for all location. It will give clear picture of the development in different area and efficiency.
Through this competency development program over last 1.5 years, we have improved our maintenance performance. To be very specific, we have improved our MTBF from 37 to around 56. We have improved our MTTR by reducing the time from 8 hours to around 6 hours. And also when it compared to the planned task versus unplanned task, we are currently in the range of 45%. With the increase of number of fleet, we are going to be around 208 machines first quarter of the next year, and we strongly believe that the competency development program will help us to take the challenge so that we can deliver our best service to our customer.
You can see here we have 5 defined steps through which each service team employee go through to have a gradual growth on their knowledge and skill. We have basic knowledge, basic skill, advanced knowledge, advanced skill, and then comes the soft skills for managing team.
With the introduction of my coach, we are able to assess and coach at the same time. We are able to show them the location of the components,
the signs of deterioration,
and also we are able to give them the right steps when carrying out the tasks.
As for the skill development part at site, we always find it difficult when you have to train someone on the live equipment because of the availability of the equipment. So Sandvik has invested on the simulators. We have already built one simulator on electrical loaders, and there we can get the guys trained on the real-time simulation. We can create the snags and see that how they are troubleshooting on them, and we can train them on that particular snag.
I have joined Sandvik in Training Academy on 19 November 2015 as a Diploma Engineer training. Now, after 2 years, I am taking care of load and haul equipment maintenance section in SK Mines.
I am working here in Sandvik from past 6 years. I am shift in charge of loaders. The technical competency program which is running by Sandvik is very good. We can measure our gaps in which areas we want to improve out.
It's been a great experience with Sandvik to work with a great work culture, and Sandvik helps me to grow myself.
My coach is a brand new tool used for assessments and coaching in a workplace.
It helps us identify our skills gaps and helps us to close it more quickly.
For low profile, it's LH208. For high profiles, it's LH514 and 517.
It's a visual tool that guides us with the task at hand.
What about a tool list that can show me exactly what tools to use for the job?
What about component identification?
Or what about part number list?
Yes.
Instead of a tablet, why not have a bigger touch screen?
In each workshop bay.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
We as a management team recognized the need for training and development of our teams and embarked on a quest to develop a highly skilled and high-performing workforce. As Sandvik leaders, we are also tasked with the duty of developing our people. How are you doing? Not too bad. So combined with on-the-job coaching training for the supervisors, it enables our supervisors and managers to continue training on the floor well into the future. Our goal in logistics services is to be the best-in-class supply chain organization and to be a crucial part in our customer experience.
Yes, it definitely has. We've been able to focus on our strengths and weaknesses through this program. By applying these principles, we'll be able to embed continuous learning within our operations.
The 5 processes being your basic skills, your basic knowledge, your advanced skills, your advanced knowledge, and how to manage yourself and manage others. And that's just that in a nutshell, but when you break those down further, it's essentially identifying all the gaps that may exist, not just the technical gaps, but also the self-management practices and how people interact and work with each other.
In the past, we have been spending on training in a very unplanned, sporadic fashion with very little progress in succession planning and talent management in the warehouse. From applying these principles, we have laid foundations for a more informed and focused development program.
And so such a training intervention is so critical. I think so often in the corporates we overlook the importance of how employees actually manage themselves. We're so focused on the what, on the numbers, on the KPIs. We don't really focus enough on the how. And do we actually understand why teams don't perform well? And I think the kind of program that LCDP provides is one that identifies all the causes of why teams perhaps aren't performing so well, and allows us to then tailor-make solutions to address these gaps on an individual basis as well as a collective basis.
By applying the learning principles, we will have better success in embedding a continuously learning culture that relies less on one-off classroom interventions. Yes, the benefits were really great. This training gave delegates the opportunity to deeply explore their inner selves on an unprecedented level in a safe and unbiased environment. The feedback I received was excellent, and the warehouse team has demonstrated tangible, improved levels of resilience in the face of operational uncertainty and pressures. We have subsequently even provided some more funding in our 2018 budget.
The next steps of the competence development program is for the supervisors to use their coaching training from phase 1 to continuously develop their employees through on-the-job training and to develop a continuous development program with each individual. Secondly, we will also use the assessments from phase 1 to develop a program to address the overall shortcomings that we have identified. This program will then be followed by subsequent assessments to ensure that it was a success. Due to the current positive feedback that I've received from everybody involved, I wouldn't change anything of the content in the program, but I do feel it's very important to make sure new employees are onboarded with the same process.